Hola from the west side. It is me, DC the Purple Diva, and welcome to Not So Random Chat. Happy Sunday, y'all. I am coming to y'all on my mobile tonight. I know I was supposed to come on Friday, and then I was supposed to come on last night, and I had some things going on, but I am back, and I did do some things actually. I took the time out. Hey, Darren. I took some time out and went through and actually started creating some shorter playlists. Because, like, if I actually expect people to, like, run my playlist, maybe I should make it something shorter. So I've got one out there that's a 20-hour live stream. And I'm getting ready to do one that's like 20 of my 50 something vlogs that someone could run. So I'm just kind of chilling. But today was a very interesting day because today, for the first time in 5 months, the ministry that I'm a part of actually did what we call an encounter. And we did it in the parking lot of our church community center. I think there was maybe about 30 members that came out, and we were all socially distanced. We brought out lawn chairs, we brought out our water, and we were just out there with, the loudspeaker on and a mic, with mic up at the front, and we were just praising the Most High. You know, we were exercising our right to freedom of relationship with the Most High in in an assembly. We weren't in a building, but we were assembled outside. And for me, you guys, even though I've loved being able to see my pastor on Hey Uppity Unicorn, see her on Facebook until recently, because now she's taken herself off of Facebook because of the censorship of on Facebook of people telling the truth. But it was a blessing, for me as a worshiper, as someone who worships the Most High, to be in an assembly with like-minded people, even social distancing, everybody, all of us having our mask on, you know, and just being able to be an assembly. It was beautiful. I did do a little like time lapse videoing of it, so I may splice it together and edit together and put it out as a little vlog. Because I truly believe that things like this are going to be kind of how other fellowships or houses of worship are going to start to do things on a go forward basis, to be able to assemble. Because, you know, in other states it may not be as stringent, but there is there's a spirit over the state of California, um, with the governor putting these limitations on houses of worship. It 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 just makes me upset, but I was glad that we were able to get together and do what we did. It was great, and I mean, I could just feel the presence. I could just feel the presence. It was a great experience, and I'm still, you know, going back and forth, you guys. Well, I don't think I'm really going back and forth. I think there just has to be an official decision, but still, talking to the people where I am waiting, well, rather waiting for their response back. Meanwhile, I'm trying to proceed with the other place. And I think that it'll probably just be a better spirit, you know. I'm trying to follow my spirit on this, you know, and not second guess myself about what's best for my family. You know, that's where I am in regards to that. Now I'm trying to see, because I'm on my StreamYard on my phone, so I'm trying to see if I have my channel up on my computer so that I can share out this live stream. Let me see. Let me go find my channel. I found it. Let me see if I can just share it out. Yeah, I think I can. Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna go into it, and then I'm gonna turn down. Oh, good. I've already got the volume down, so I can share it out, so people know that I'm online. I'm trying, y'all. I'm trying to do trying to do these things. Okay, I'm gonna create a post. Say, come on through. I'm on live. I appreciate you guys for being here. I appreciate anyone who comes through just to spend a little time with me, you know, when I do come on here live. And I love supporting all of you guys as well. Because I have made some, you know, friends in all different sectors on this YouTube space. But I like the fact that, you know, people feel like my chat is like a kind of zen place and everything, you know, where you can just kind of be yourself and not have to deal with, you know, idiocracy. Let me see. Come on through. Y'all, I can't type and talk at the same time. I can't type and talk at the same time. Okay, I shared myself out. Hey, DLD. Yeah, now I'm in both chats. I'm in the chat on my StreamYard, and I'm in the chat on YouTube. Yeah, guys, you know, I know that, you know, I have a diverse group of people that come through my chat with various beliefs and everything. But I know that none of us are appreciative of the censorship that goes on some of these social media platforms, um, with people being able to put out their truths when they're not, you know, and the hate speech, which seems to be able to go just willy nilly everywhere, you know. And that was one of the things that the pastor of my church was having an issue with on Facebook. They would, you know, take her stuff down, take down services, take down Bible studies, you know, take down, you know, prayer. Like, and nothing in those things was anything hateful or not anything. It was simply us exercising, you know, our, you know, freedom of religion or relationship during this pandemic, since we can't assemble, you know. So pastors like my own were becoming creative, and a lot of them were on Facebook, and apparently they didn't like that. So now my pastor is not on there anymore because, you know, thankfully they suspended you for 30 days. I got put in Facebook jail like years ago, but I wasn't in Facebook jail for anything that I did. They had locked up my account. That was back when um, they still are doing it. You know, when they do their random things, and if you aren't using your legal government name on Facebook, they'll make you send in ID to prove that the name you're using on Facebook is your real name. So that's what I went through. And so they locked up my account and I couldn't get into it for like 4 days while I had to send them a copy of my um, driver's license so that they could see that my name on there is my name. The only thing they didn't like, they made me take out the DCThePurpleDiva, or made me put it in there so that everybody knows that that's a nickname or whatever. Stupid. You know, I don't know. Facebook is a little, and I don't know. Zuckerberg is he's strange to me. This is my opinion. You know, he's not the most social person, and yet he is the creator of a social media. The irony of it, you know. But I have been seeing that a lot more people are starting to start Patreon accounts as well as have their YouTubes. But I want to do it, but I first want to figure out what would I do on Patreon that I would not do on YouTube. And I guess it would be because it wouldn't necessarily be about the stuff that's with autism. I mean, most of that I want to put on YouTube, but there might be certain things that are more controversial around it that I might not necessarily want to put on, YouTube. But I don't know. I'm gonna just, there's like a couple of other autism channels that have Patreon. Um, so I guess like kind of see what kind of stuff they're doing on theirs, just to kind of get an idea of what will be the kind of stuff that I could probably do on a Patreon versus on the platform, you know, in regards to autism or my life, you know, as a caregiver. I don't know, y'all. I am, however, looking into the Teespring store. I'm just trying to make myself pick two things that are going to be the things that I start out with. I might end up making it three things. I don't know. Because I had decided I was going to do t-shirts. I was going to do coffee mugs. And Darren, I'm going to have to, I guess, up my coffee game. So maybe once I move, I'll get me like the kind of, coffee shindig that I can, grind the coffee so I can get some of your coffee. Because I don't know nowhere to go get it ground. That's the thing. And I really want to try your coffee. Because I don't even know, do the grocery stores still have like those grinders in there for people to grind their own coffee? I don't even know if they still do that. I don't even know if they still do that. But I definitely am going to, I got to get my game up on all of these things. I'm focused so many different places. But I think that I'm going to break down, you guys, and I'm going to do some silent live streams to help me to get my hours. They will? Will they? I didn't know that, uppity. If they'll grind up coffee for free, I'll find out if they would grind coffee that's not their coffee. There's several. there's like a couple of Starbucks near me. Because that's my only thing is I want, I need to be able to grind the coffee up. Yeah. So you both were baristas? Yeah. Because I remember back in the day. Now, this is before there was ever. I'm pretty sure this is before Starbucks, y'all. So, I'm dating myself. But I remember back in the old days, you could pick fresh coffee at the grocery stores, and they had the grinder right there where you could grind up your bag of coffee, and then just pay for it at the register. And that was for people who were, because some people prefer the coffee bean versus the ground. Oh, really? But Starbucks, I mean, I've I've met, like some of the regional managers and stuff, like, cause there was like there was a time, like when I used to hang out at the Starbucks and work in the Starbucks when when I would have whenever I would have internet issues, at home, or the internet was out at the house or something, because even Spectrum has outages. I'd go hang out at a Starbucks, and I've been to like a few of them and everything, and hung out there and just did the stuff. But I never even bothered, and I've seen like the turnover in some of them. But you've seen some of them. Some of the people just stay there and work their way up, but they transfer a lot around. Yeah, I know. I'm like, I don't know. Maybe I can like go on. I'm gonna go online and do some looking around and see how much like mini setups even cost. Because there's so many people who drink coffee now. So, and one of my cousins, I'm gonna text her, because yeah, she's like she's like a real coffee connoisseur. Like whenever they have those Keurig coffee contests, she always joins them. Oh, really? Yeah, see, that's the area that you're in. Like, obviously down here in SoCal, most of the ones, depending on, if I was in a predominantly diverse area, or more black area, then you had a lot of baristas and everything, even management that was black or Latino. Um, but if you go to the areas that are more predominantly white, then you don't see you'll still see maybe one, but you won't see as many in the Starbucks here. But there's a lot of Starbucks. I mean, a lot of them all over LA. I remember when Magic Johnson had bought into them, but I think he like sold his shares into Starbucks, because when he had Starbucks, all of the ones that he had a picture of him inside of them, and he helped them to get into some of the more urban communities in the Los Angeles area. Because contrary to popular belief, black people like to drink coffee too. I mean, I drink coffee, I drink tea, I drink both. Yeah, I know, and it can be hard. Like for me, uppity, that was like one of the reasons why when I was deciding to go to college, why even though I did go to the HBCU my freshman year, I wanted to go to school at a predominantly white school because I only knew I mean, growing up in DC, even when my parents moved you know, to like right outside, I still was predominantly around us. Um, we broke out, when we moved to PG County from DC, we were part of the mass, of black people moving from DC and buying houses in the suburbs because they were able to afford them because the taxes were less in Maryland and Virginia. And so a lot of people moved out to Maryland. But I still, all my schooling, even though I was in Catholic school, I went to school with majority black. There was maybe in my senior year in high school, two of my classmates were white. Hey, Angels Army. Welcome into the room, Angels Army. So, when I came to California and went to college out here, it was, my goal was to be able to operate in a world that was not like the world I grew up in. And for me, I had the biggest culture shock with black people at school, you know. And when I first was in college, I primarily was only hanging out with people that were from the East Coast because the people from California were like different to me. They were interesting, They were just interesting. And like being into being black and into our heritage, into African art and the African, all of that stuff was a fad here. Whereas where I came from, it was not a fad. It was, like it was. It's like I grew up in a school system where we knew the um, Black National Anthem by second grade. You were required to know it, even in Catholic school. Okay, so I'd had that experience, but I needed to globalize my experience because I knew that when I got out of school, I was going to have to deal in places where there wouldn't be a whole bunch of black people. And that was good for me. It didn't matter that I was black and Latino because all they gonna see when they look at me is black. Black is black is black. you know and as I've said many times before, the Latino part of me is still black. Still black. It's all black. So it did help me because I knew I had to jump through all them hoops and everything in every type of place that I was. I knew I had to be better than everybody else. I knew I had to have a thick skin as I moved up, the corporate ladder. I just, and I was a very shy person, and I had to get out of my shyness so that people would not walk over me, you know, and that was big, because I metamorphosized from, in college and in my 20s into being more, outspoken and being able to speak up for myself, not being like, the angry black woman in the meetings or anything, but just, you know, making myself shine. And, you know, in most situations, being able to brush the haters off, you know. I love you too, Angels Army. How's our kitty? Hey Tutu. So hey Chatted Hearts. I, y'all are sliding through. And then you know what? It's because I'm looking at both of the chats. Let me see what she said about the wrong kind of grinder will ruin my coffee. Yeah, that's why I said I was going to talk to my cousin too, because she's like a coffee connoisseur. She's a coffee snob. She doesn't. She don't even drink Starbucks coffee. Okay. She has her own personal Keurig coffee thing at her house, and then she has one on her desk at her job and stuff. So she's serious about it. But also too, I also want to tell her about Darren's Coffee Company too, because I bet you she'll try it out. Yeah, 'cause she's not on YouTube. She's on Facebook. And she's on Instagram too. But I got some decisions to make, y'all. I'm also looking into some things so that I can, push myself to make multiple streams of income. I'm pushing myself to finish the book about my son. I'm, pushing myself to finish the other books that I'm doing. Um, and, you know, just trying to get everything together in all ways around me, you know, as far as, how I look on paper when this pandemic is over, which won't be this year. Sorry to tell y'all, but we're almost 8 months. We're almost almost at the end of the 7th month of this year. I think this is just going to be one of those years. It's going to be a very different year. Um, and like right now, I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to be able to even see my dad this year. You know what I mean? Like, am I going to be able to go see him? And it's not even about finances, it's just because of everything that's going on. I miss my daddy. And after all this stuff that's going on, with him being 3,000 miles away, yeah. But I don't know if we'll be in a situation where that would be possible, because I definitely don't want to put my dad at risk coming from one of the states with the highest, count, where he's in a state that's not, as bad. But one of the things that I'm also doing is I'm trying to get my prayer and meditation life back together, because I've been praying, but I haven't been doing as much meditating as I used to do, and I really need to get back into that, because I think that is going to help my mind to not be stressed by everything that's going on, by all of the things that are continuously changing right now. and it will help me to feel more of a stability, regardless of the changing things that are going on around me, because it's going to be like this for a minute, y'all. We all know it. We all know it. It's like, and I have to look at the things where I'm blessed. Thankfully, thank you, Yeshua. Thank you, Most High, that you know I still have a job. You know, and now I don't know what's going on with that promotion that I applied for, because I never heard anything. So I don't know if they just decided not to even bother to interview me, because it's a department that I used to be in. Not sure if that's what's going on, but I do like what I'm doing right now in IT, and I'm learning more about, doing user testing in the current environment. And I think that that will be beneficial to me no matter what happens, you know. But a lot is going on in this world around us, and that's why I'm saying I need to start my meditation back so that I can keep my mind focused, you know, especially on all the things that I have to do. Because being a caregiver for my son, especially during this pandemic when he really has no services coming, is has been a challenge, simply because, you know, he's not had a whole lot of stuff to motivate him. And to be perfectly honest, we don't even know when any of that stuff is going to even come back. You know, considering how many communities are threatening to shut stuff back down, this is going to be, I think, one of the most difficult decisions a lot of people are going to have to be making come November. You know, even if you think it's easy because you don't like 45, I don't think it's easy whether you like 45 or not. With everything that's going on in the country right now, we all have to look at, you know, if we're going to take that chance and put somebody else in there, is that going to be better for us? I don't know. I'm asking the question. I honestly am. You know, I mean, I could be of the mind that, anything could be better, but sometimes you have to be careful what you ask for, because, you know, some people will ask for what we have, who we have in office now, and you know, I don't know. I don't know if everyone who wanted 45 in office is happy with what's going on because of what's going on in the world with this, with this pandemic. And I mean, our country should not be where it is. We should not be here. We shouldn't be here. And, everybody's pointing the fingers, trying to blame everybody else, when the honest to to God truth is that when we shut down, we should have stayed shut down for longer. And, you know, even though this may not always be the right answer, but maybe our country should have given its citizens, its tax-paying citizens, more than $1,200. Maybe they should have done like some of the other countries did, and not have people in these dire straits right now. Because, I I'm gonna tell you what's about to happen. You know, yes, more people are getting this virus. Many are. We don't even know how many are successfully getting through it unless we personally know them, because they're our friends here on YouTube or friends on Facebook. Okay, we only know about the people who are dying, and those of us who are in the harder hit areas are just, we don't know what figures to believe. You know, because now it's taken forever to get the test results. Now it's taking forever. Meanwhile, you have an executive branch who continuously contradicts what the National Institute of Health, NIH. I should know that. I had a summer job there in high school. Nonetheless, um, and then you've got the head of that, who I can't figure what he's saying, and he's actually Dr. Fauci, the one who we kept seeing on TV. This is his boss. Now they have continued to have their meetings, and they continue supposedly to be doing stuff behind the scenes. Trying to make sure I keep it down. I don't want to have it up. I don't want you guys to start hearing an echo, because I have it on my computer, but I have the volume turned down real low just so I can keep up with the chat, because y'all know StreamYard brings y'all in slow. This has just been, I don't want to say cancel this year, because you don't want to cancel the year. I mean, a lot of things have happened. I mean, and before I forget, rest in peace, John Lewis. Rest in peace, John Lewis. That man pretty much gave his entire life to, serving the country, from being in part of the civil rights movement back when he was in the same age group as my dad. I mean, he started the stuff in college. My dad wasn't involved in it in college, but my dad was not, going to be a public servant. My dad's desire was to become a doctor. So his, you know, politicism, or all of that, ended with college. He's still, politically involved, but, as far as all of that, he let his classmates, like Julian Bond, go off and do that kind of stuff. Um, but, it is, it is sad to see, the life of John Lewis come to an end. He, was fighting the same thing that my mom, had when she died. And he fortunately was able to live quite a while with it. My mom, unfortunately, was not. It When we found out she had it, she was gone within 2 months. Went into the hospital, never came back out. Matter of fact, the anniversary of her death is August the 16th, coming up. Another reason why I'm scatterbrained and stuff. Because as it gets closer to the anniversary of my mom's death, and with everything that's happening, it's just a lot. It's a lot on your girl, DC. But I was really fortunate to be in that encounter service today because it was an encounter with the Most High. You know, we were singing our praises to Him. I was dancing. I was lifting my hands up. I was singing. I was crying. And it was a good time for me to publicly, display my relationship with the Most High. Because I'm not ashamed of having a relationship with Him. You know, you know, I mean, with the true one. I've already explained to y'all that, you know, we follow Yeshua over here and the Most High. You know. Hey, Mahogany. Thank you for coming through. I know it's late for you, girl. I know it's late for you. But they we've been watching like this weekend, you guys. We've been kind of binging on some stuff over here. We actually did a re-binge of some good stuff that's on since most of us are still stuck in the house, and although we come on YouTube, we don't spend all our time on YouTube. We do come off of it at some point. I'm getting looks over here. Anyway, but they had this show that's about to come back on. It's called The Umbrella Academy, and they're about to bring in its new season. And then they have this other one. This is all on Netflix, by the way, y'all. Then they have this other one. On that one, who's on that show? The Umbrella Club. The Umbrella Academy is the actress that was in Juno. She's in that. Then they have this thing called The Defenders. The Defenders, which apparently is a prequel to Luke Cage, which I think came on the CW. So we've been watching stuff like that, and they finally brought the whole thing about Jordan to Netflix. So we've been kind of watching a lot of that as well, and they've shown flashes of Kobe in that, because they interviewed him for this. It's a trip. It's just really hard to believe that the Kobe is gone. This has been a crazy year. So many people were here at the beginning of this year and are now gone. Some due to the pandemic and some due to other reasons. But this has definitely been a year of a lot of loss of humanity. And in some instances, it feels like some people have lost their humanity in the way that they treat other people. It's just really, really sad. Because even as we go through all of this, let me just fix something. Let me see this mahogany. Okay, there we go. So, as we're going through all of this, we have many people who have lost loved ones. They've lost jobs. Many have lost their social relationships because they haven't been able to be around anyone. And we still have a homeless issue. We now have an unemployment issue that we, didn't have at the beginning of the year. But, you know, it is what it is. There you go, Miss Mahogany. And meanwhile, we have a government that's fighting over whether they should give more money to the health system so that, they can, do more testing, do whatever they need so that we can temper what is going on in this country. And they're fighting over whether they should give any more money to Americans when, you still have all these people out of work. You still have all these people who can't pay their mortgage, who can't pay their rent, who are on the verge of being kicked out because, hey, a landlord can only go so long in the rental situations without getting rent before, you know, they got to do something. And everywhere is not how it is here in California. You know, some places, once they start the eviction process, it's a done deal. And I'm just thinking about what kind of freaking leadership does this show that 45 is giving to this country if we are this freaking mess right now? To me, it reflects on his daggone leadership, no matter how you cut it. You know, reopening is not going to make people's jobs come back because people are getting sick. So then you have to keep closing. So I don't know, maybe help the people who are in positions that are not necessarily the types of jobs that can be done remotely, in industries where it's not remotely. Unemployment, many of these people didn't even qualify for unemployment. So how are they living? How are they living right now? I'm just wondering. How are they living right now? He refuses to wear a mask. His vice president refuses to wear a mask. And, I don't want to even get into the wear a mask, not wear a mask controversy, because the problem is that at the very beginning, they kept not, they kept going against what medical communities were advising people in the communities, and they were telling them not to wear the mask, not to wear the mask. He's still not wearing a mask. You know, Here's my thing. In some cases, the masks do offer some protection if worn properly, if it's the right type, if it's the right type of mask. But social distancing, in all cases, helps to cut down. So that's the problem: is that people were not social distancing and they weren't wearing masks, and they're still not doing it. They're still not doing it. So I just think that it's a cultural thing for us as Americans. We just We want to be hard-headed. Even when it's mandated, people just don't give a F, it appears. It's mandated. It's mandated in my state. It's mandated in my state. Do you understand the state that I'm in? It's mandated. And I still see many, 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 many people walking around with none. Not social distancing. Just not. And I'm sure it's the same across the country. Now, I'm not even saying, I'm not even one for us going in for martial law, because I don't really want it to come down to that kind of situation. But right now, we're just in the land of the lawless when it comes to our health. We are just in the land of the lawless when it comes to our health. And it's funny how the rest of the world everybody else's economies seem to be picking back up. Everybody else seems to be finding a way out of this. Everybody else seems to be getting their numbers down. Yet we, the great United States of America, cannot get our shiznick together as a country. You know, as a country, it's just a bad reflection on us. Like, we do not care about life. You know, and I'm not saying everybody, because I know that many people you know did do all of the right things and have continued to do the right things. But then there's many people who haven't, and especially our young people. That's the ones. They're the ones who're supposed to be around, but they're the highest number of growing cases. You know, so much so that we're terrified for our kids to go back to school in a classroom, even though we know for younger children, this is going to be near impossible for them to really learn online. 4 and 5 year olds don't learn well that way. They just don't, you know? And what do we want? Parents to, everybody's going to have to be home because somebody's got to be there to teach them. You can't expect them to sit in front of a computer without somebody being there, you know? And most people do not have the luxury of hiring a teacher to come in there and sit there and make sure their kid is doing it, so that they can go to work. Most people can't afford that. You know, in my head, I'm just thinking, what if my son was still in school now? How would I be able to handle this? Especially with him being someone who was in special education. He was in a special needs class. So I can only imagine how many parents are freaking out as to how they're going to be able to handle this, even though we all know that this is probably what's best, because it's not the kids that we're so much concerned about getting sick, because probably most of them probably won't get sick. But what about the teachers? What about the workers? You know, what about all of them? And we have seen kids that have died from this. We have seen children, or teenagers that have gotten this. You know, it's like a crap shoot. And would I do a crapshoot with my child's life? Or with his teacher's life? Most parents don't want to do that. I just am so afraid that this is going to hurt our kids because the school districts um, in the states are not going to get it together effectively. Because the way that we educate in this country is completely different from the way other countries educate, you know? And, we're too proud to even look at anybody else's. However, the only thing that uh, Miss Cuckoo, Betsy Voss, was looking at Japan and looking at their children being in class, with the mask on and all of that. However, culturally, it's more, they've been able to assimilate. And it's just different because of how they educate the kids. I'm just saying, y'all. I, I want our kids to succeed. I mean, they've already had the weirdest, the ones who graduated from high school and college. This was probably the most unique way, you know, and now they're entering, some are going to be entering college, and instead of having a college experience on campus, they're going to be doing college online as freshmen. And then those who graduated, well, now they're trying to figure out how can I find a job online, because most everything's remote now if you can get a job. It's just, the way that it is. I'm thankful that, I have been working from home for so many years. And so I was already there. But now a lot of other companies are switching to remote, and a lot of them are talking about they may keep workers remote even after this. So that means that there's other opportunities out there for those of us who are already working from home in the first place. You know? But I don't know. It's a whole new world, y'all. And I'm trying to get myself so that I look right when we come out on the other side of this that we're currently in. Because, DC has some goals, y'all. DC has some goals. DC plans on being a homeowner again, because I did own a home before for like 16 years. And I plan on being a homeowner again, even if I don't live in it. I don't have to live in it. I just need to own a piece of property that I can call my own so that I have something to leave to my son. I'm in the process of getting these multiple streams of income. And Darren, I do need to email you, and I will be. There's a couple people I've got to email, but I'm trying to do it one at a time so I can, get one thing started, get the next started, get the next started, just get it all, so I can just get it all rolling, so that I can have all of these things rolling along together while I'm still working. That that full-time job I have, that, and you know I'm still able to get everything that I need to get done for my son, because we're still working on getting his in-home support services. That's another stream of income, because he's an adult now. There's money so that he can pay me to do the things that I do for him because I'm his mama. I don't have to do them for free. I can get paid to do them, and there's money for him to pay me. I just have to, we're going through the process for that to happen, and that'll be another stream of income so that even when I'm gone, he'll still have that ability. If he still needs someone to help him, he'll still have that funding, so he'll be able to do that. Just saying. But I'm gonna get ready to come on here, you guys, because it is. I've been on for an hour. Let me come on camera on my phone. Hold on. Hold on. Hey, everybody. How you guys doing? Uh oh. David wants to come. Come on. Come. Here he comes. Stick your head in. There you go. Y'all see David? Say hi.
Hi.
All right. I don't know if they can really hear you that much. Well, yeah, they can probably hear you because the microphone's right by you. All right. You're gone. You gonna go? Okay. Okay. All right. There y'all see he knocked me off the camera. All right, you guys. Thank you so much for coming and hanging out with me. I will be back. I don't know when I'm gonna do the silent stream, but it's coming. I'm just gonna have to set it up. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I'll put a little teddy bear, there, so y'all have something to look at. I won't start it out obviously with the teddy bear, but just gotta figure out how I'm gonna do it. Gotta find a place where nobody's gonna mess with it, you know, and just set it on up. I could do it in the kitchen. Anyway, I'm just thinking. All right, you guys, I will see y'all. I'll be back on tomorrow at some point. But until then, I offer you guys peace and blessings from the West Side. I will see y'all. Thanks for coming. I appreciate it. Bye, everybody. Peace.